Hey everybody, we're back. This is Par for the Discourse. Today is June 7th, 2020, and I'm here. I'm Nicole. I'm here sitting in my living room in Madrid, and Erica is taking herself outside in the backyard in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. Looks good there.
It is going to be a beautiful day. The weather's going to be very nice. It's early here, so I thought I'd sit in the shade. When the sun moves, I think I'll still be in the shade over here for a little bit, but because my neighbor's trees shade me so well. But the backyard is coming along. Thank God, because I'm going to need to spend some peaceful time here. I've had quite a week. I've attended 3 peaceful protest marches. Curfew was put on New York City on Tuesday. I heard this morning that it's going to be lifted.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you, when is that going to be? Is there any slight?
This morning said that's over with, thank God, because it was insane bullshit. It's been a really rough week, and I'm not sure if next week is going to be rougher. I've had a lot of personal experiences here in this neighborhood that have been very upsetting. And then I've seen some really beautiful things happen in this neighborhood too. So this is why I don't want to, we'll just do this real quick and then we'll get into some more fun stuff. But this is what's been going on. And clearly, if you look at the date on this and watch this, you know what is going on in New York City and around the world. And I don't need to get into it, but it's, no, I mean, not that I don't need to get into it. I don't need to repeat what I think people know what is going on. So this was put up in my neighborhood as we went walking around yesterday. And this is repeated over and over on posts, on mail posts, if you can see it. Can you see it? Or is that not clear?
Part of it's blackened. Can you read it? Or no, you don't want to read it.
This neighborhood accepts all races. We are all one. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. Notorious B.I.G. And that's nice, but that's not enough, because I saw a lot of bullshit go on this week. I'm being a witness, but what scares me is that my house and my home, and I don't want to make myself a target where I live. I have visible tattoos. I am very conscious that me and Ronnie have made ourselves public people in the city with street art. People know where we live. So I am going to keep speaking out and doing my part and being as safe as I can, but this is not a time for anyone to be silent. It never was. And yeah, I'm you know, it's not a neighborhood that I feel connected to personally. This is a neighborhood that we ended up getting a great apartment in because it was further away. If this were a few years ago, Ronnie and I would be living in Fort Greene on Lafayette, where the protests got really ugly last Friday night, not this Friday night, last Friday night. And I wish I was there. I was really torn up that I wasn't there, that I needed to be there. I wanted to be present and be a witness. And I was very upset about it and was happy to see things happening here too. Because I'm still scared to get on the subway. I am petrified that in 2 weeks, people are gonna start getting sick again because, and I don't know how politicized that will be.
Is
it's
that
the protesters' fault? You know, I don't know. You know, so
is that something that's being talked about at all? Not to drag this out, but talking about second waves of, because from what I've been reading, you know, actually New York seems to be reportedly doing better in terms of hot spots
Is it interesting that the curfew ends tonight and tomorrow we go into phase 1?
Yeah.
How convenient.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Doesn't mean that the protests will stop. I don't think. I hope not. To be honest, I really hope that it continues, and it's going to be uncomfortable for a lot of people. It's uncomfortable in my household because I have a big fucking mouth, but I have to learn how to communicate more peacefully with people instead of just
Attacking others.
Yeah.
I hear you. But, we got to keep talking out.
The attack on me is you're just a liberal, and that's funny because it's just the politicizing of like I said, I think I said this before we started, it's people want to make it blue versus red, and it's really black versus white, but it's a black and white thing. It's not a red and blue thing. The politics is what the problem is. It's part of a real broken system.
Right, completely.
In a lot of ways, and the police is a big part of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm hoping that this doesn't play out the way past things have played out, where it's like, okay, it'll die down, forget that for a while, and then a new thing emerges.
Week. Yeah. I guess if we're on this topic and we could get off it, and oh God, a bumblebee just went by. With the street art community, we, every year, New York City, the struggle of gay rights activists is a part of New York City history. And for 30 days, there is celebration every year. And that's a beautiful thing. And there's a lot of people that participated in that heavily. And I don't, I'm, as an observer, I don't see them participating in this. And I hope that they do. I hope that there's a part of them that maybe learns something and helps things move in a better direction. I've had a lot of kind of guilt over, guilt's not the right word. Just, street art is a really important communication in urban city.
Commentary.
And there was something uncomfortable about it in the last year for me. There was something real clean and squeaky about it. People were putting up their artwork in places where they knew they weren't going to get in trouble. And there was something, and then, the paid murals and the projects, and they're all good things. And I just don't know if people should waste paint anymore.
Do you think it's losing its edge? It's like losing its purpose of...
is to say something, not just to put up your artwork and advertise your name and get followers on your Instagram account.
About the commentary of it.
Of this art form is important, and something about it was getting too... I couldn't put my finger on it a year ago. The people around me, I just didn't know what... I don't know. There's maybe conversations to be had. I don't know. But relationships with people are not going to be the same.
Wow, I see that happening too, but for other reasons as well. Coming from where I am, just not to bring it back to this topic, but moving around back and forth because we're in a crisis, world crisis for a lot of reasons. But the corona people, the anti-mask people.
What, the anti-what?
Mask.
Oh, anti-mask, yeah.
I can't even get started. I'm going to go off if I do. So I would like to say to you that, well, to kind of recap something that we were talking about last week. You want to say something about that? Like something you were finding from me? You want to talk about?
I haven't watched The Last Dance yet, and I know that you finished it, and I am looking forward to spending time. The dynasty of the Chicago Bulls was a big part of my childhood. Of
course it was.
my mind, and I know that this is something that Bill Burr also agrees with, that time of, it was probably the best. That's not true, because the Detroit Pistons had a really good run after that, but that was really fun to watch. I was a cheerleader for basketball when did you know that about me?
Oh my God, this is like big news.
Well, listen, like I wasn't like, I was doing it to, well, I really did love the sport, and I got to sit in the front to watch the game. I mean, I also was a dancer, and I could cheer, and so I love basketball so much. I really don't watch basketball much anymore. It's you know what, if I really, like, there's a game where there's something good happening, and you watch the fourth quarter, it's like the first 3 quarters are just bullshit. Anyway, looking forward to watching it. We talked last week about a book that I had found on the street, and I pulled it off of my yellow section of my bookcase, and here it is.
Bad as I Wanna Dress, the Dennis Rodman paper doll book. You're so lucky I'm not there, because I think I might steal that from you. I would steal it.
You just hold on. Ronnie is big into this grading of comic books, and the corners and the pristine. There's no, I mean, it was just sitting there. It's so, okay, we're gonna, this whole thing, the way it's written, whoever wrote the text that's in this, it's so hilarious. It's so amazing. Okay, and it says right here, parody. Just, I think maybe, is that legal, that if you write that you can't get sued?
Yeah, I would think it has something to do with defamation.
But it's really it was really Three Rivers Press. I mean, it has an ISB number and everything. It's not, but this whole intro is so fucking amazing.
Somebody's ringing my bell. Hold on a second. This is terrible.
Oh, Yoletta's got to see this.
Okay, so, oh my God, so are these pop outs? You can actually pop it out and make the paper dolls? Why would you want to do that, really, though?
I like to shock people. These are like faces. These are on the other sides, because like you would cut it out of the page. So these are like the in-between.
Right. Okay.
Do you want me to go through?
Where's his head? Like, where does his head fit? Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah,
that is great.
Hold on. There's the wedding dress. Do we get to the wedding? Oh, there's the Madonna.
Yeah, classic.
Hair. A little more.
You know what else is very funny about that? I could tell just by looking.
Go ahead.
But just by looking at the drawings of his legs are so inaccurate. Look look at the legs of him. It's like ridiculous.
I'm nobody straight out of nowhere. I mean, it's prolific. So anyway.
That's a good piece to have. Whoever threw that out, shame on you.
This is the end of the book right here. So there you go. And Dennis Rodman is definitely a very interesting individual.
You were also supposed to find me, and you didn't, so I'm going to remind you. You were supposed to find me some kind of, I don't know if it was a tweet or what it was. It was Catherine O'Hara.
Oh, shit.
Greek, something to compare the outfits.
Find that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Right. Yeah, I got to find that. Shoot. Thank you for reminding me.
I'd like to see that.
Moira. So I got a friend in the neighborhood I got watching Schitt's Creek too, and she's just absolutely obsessed, and it's hilarious. Moira, if I just do Dennis Rodman, that's not gonna come up though.
I think it would, because why else would they be linked?
Oh, here it is. 5420. Yep, this is it. Show thread. Okay, I'm gonna send you this whole thread. Copy link. Look at that. Look how fast that happened. There it is. So this all started because there was a Twitter thread of comparing Dennis Rodman to Moira.
Mm.
What's their last name? Rose, Moira Rose, from Schitt's Creek, and then it's the side by sides of all the outfits and screenshots of times that Dennis Rodman was dressed very similar to Moira, and it's fucking brilliant. And that's how we started talking about this. Anyway, okay.
Well, yeah, when you get on that, once you're done, we can
know what Dennis Rodman is thinking right now.
There's a couple of other things I want to get into. I don't want to spoil it for you yet, but when you're done watching it, we'll talk about a couple of things.
We're gonna try to get to it this week. I think we'll probably start that.
You have that, and then Friday we have Pete Davidson and Bill Burr's movie, The King of Staten Island, coming out, which I didn't even realize that Steve Buscemi was in it, but just a little.
And Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, she's one of the main people, but Steve Buscemi, wasn't he? I could be wrong. Wasn't he actually a fireman like years ago? Yes. And he was very big in 9/11.
Him and his brother.
And he was big in 9/11. Like
my friend bought a bunch of shit from his stoop sale because she couldn't believe that he was just like having a stoop sale selling stuff. Like he lived like a couple blocks from where we lived when I lived in Park Slope. Uh-huh. And I just bought all this stuff because it was Steve Buscemi's stuff. Like he's just sitting there selling like old records and crap, and like him and his brother, I think, have like a big like brownstone in somewhere, or one of. I mean, yeah.
So now that it's rained, I'm assuming that tomorrow when I go out, I'm going to find all the snails like I always do, which brings me to your little project of the week. Let's show everybody what you've been up to this week.
So it started with one, and I think I said that like I didn't really know what to do because I didn't know if I wanted to contain them. I thought I'm just gonna put them like around the planters and stuff, and then the next day I'd like they were gone. I was like, gosh, those guys like.
Did they really escape?
I mean, I didn't put them in anything. I just kind of put them like inside, but they climb up and out and they're gone. And so I was like, I don't know if I want to see if I can like keep them alive and see if they grow. And I don't want to experiment. So it started with 3 and then it rained. And that was it. When it rained, I was finding them everywhere.
Yeah.
And now we're up to 9.
Oh, wow.
And I have 2 containers, and I last night finished moving them into a fresh container so I could clean the other one.
Uh-huh.
So then because I read like once a week you got to clean the whole thing because they
you're reading up on the care of these creatures.
How to like keep their.
Dear Google, how do I take care of my fake pet snails?
These are my babies. You got to see the most fun I'm having is the time lapse videos because the time lapse is so much fun because I can set it up and like just let it go for like a minute and then come back and they're like it's.
Yeah, you sent me one. It was great. I saved it.
I'm gonna get better at that, but
hey, when you got the time.
When I worked at the Slim Foundation, we used to get these big bouquets every week or these big flower arrangements. And you got to bring them home once a week. Somebody got to bring them home. And I have so many of these cubes. Like I have a ridiculous amount of these things because we used to get these arrangements. And even when people wanted to just take the flowers, I'd be like, can I have the cube? I have so many of these things. So
that's great.
So I thought this was good. So I have like the plastic has a bunch of holes and stuff. And I thought that was like, so I can at least see them. They go on the ceiling and everything. It's so cool. I was singing Dancing on the Ceiling last night because they were all on the ceiling. They're more active at night.
Yeah. They like lettuce. They really do.
Lettuce. I've been doing lettuce. Carrots are in there right now. I'm going to give them, I think I'm going to cut up an apple.
We tried spinach, nuts like that. And
the juicer back out, so I'm giving them like the ends of what we're juicing. Like,
oh yeah, that's a good idea. The shredded crap. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll eat it, right? Celery. So that's what I've been. This is what I'm,
Well, I think it's interesting because that's something no one's talked about. Everyone's talking about, oh, I'm doing this, I'm painting, I'm watching Netflix, I'm doing
Entertainment that has cost $0, and that was the goal.
completely original too. You're like, oh, I built a, you know, sanctuary for my snails.
I did, yeah. And they're keeping me entertained. And the birds are really cool. I was talking with somebody last week about her. She's an artist, and she lives in Staten Island, and she's really near close to like a nature walk kind of a thing, and it's not a bird sanctuary, but I guess it's kind of has like a, I don't know, I'm not sure. It's not like the Central Park, like Audubon Society or anything, but so she's been taking these gorgeous photos. So she's just like at home and working in her studio. So she goes for these walks. And I was telling her, I was like, you're really getting, I mean, the variety of birds is crazy. And we were talking about her writing a story for the magazine, because there was the Audubon Society had supported a mural project. It was either in the Bronx or in Harlem. I think it was a bunch of different walls, and with all these birds, and a bunch of people painted. That was a couple of years ago. And I know we have photos from that. And I was kind of thinking it'd be cool to put together this whole story about how, New Yorkers are really big bird lovers, and then try to get a quote from Chris Cooper.
Get a little nature scene going in there, like a little nature into the urban.
Just that, New Yorkers are, I mean, there's a lot of assumptions about
That's right, yeah.
New York is, and I think that's kind of a nice story, especially after the whole Central Park thing with the dog lady, and the guy was just like, he's the president of the Audubon Society, that guy. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I did.
Like, he's just looking out for the birds, you dumb bitch. Okay, what was next on the agenda? I showed you the snails.
Oh, what nobody here realizes is that you're actually not sitting outside. You have a fan in front of you blowing your hair. And those are fake birds in the back.
This is my hammock.
I know, I'm saying the noise. You hear the chirping very loudly.
No, the hammock is really, this was my anniversary present. I think did I talk about it before, that I would like sit in my window and look out at it from where I usually sit. And it's really just the place where I kind of have been just going to.
I'm happy that no one's complained, I don't see anyone complaining, but no one's actually getting back there either, because technically people can share that space there and be annoying and get in your way, but no one's really bothering you back there. No?
No, we're the only ones that have access to it.
Oh, you are? I thought that there was another access through the.
No, it's just ours. It would have, when we first moved in, the people in the basement had access, and we were supposed to be doing it, and so we just never really used it. And then when they left and we acquired the basement and made it a duplex, it's all ours. Like, I mean, Ronnie was saying we have neighbors upstairs, but they don't have access to the backyard. He was saying, we should have make dinner one night and invite them to the backyard or something. Our neighbors upstairs.
Is that something you want to do or no?
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't want to sit in the house with them. Like, I mean, like lunch is being delivered. Thank you. Breakfast, really, but is this? So you bought stuff, and instead of wow. Wow. What a man. What a man. So a request from one of our viewers was for me to tell a story that he had never heard me tell before, and I'm stumped because I spent the last 3 months 24/7 with him. I think I've told him we've been together for 10 years. I don't think I have any stories he hasn't ever heard.
Not to mention, we've been talking about the same thing over and over again for the past 3. So, yeah, I think that this week we should try. Well, I wanted to ask you before we close out here. Do you have a story this week for File Under Asshole?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's actually a very dumb question on my part. But
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, is asshole even the word, or is Nazi the word? I don't know.
well,
Hey, okay. You know what? You know what? I'll let me tell you about yesterday, because this is where I said I'm gonna have to figure out how to not be in a situation where I just shut down and I'm like, all right, we're leaving. Because my friend said yesterday, and I was talking to her about Ronnie. Ronnie is he is a type of person that just can and get along and have a conversation with anybody. He really can. My friend said if Ronnie and Jack the Ripper were in the room, they would have a great conversation. That's the kind of person. and to his to his what am I trying to say?
backing that up.
What I love about him, and that's something that I don't have, is tolerance for things that anyway. This guy is a New York City school teacher, and he said yesterday, making light of things, I think, and said, and this guy is a liberal school teacher. He's from Ithaca, New York, and he said, Trump, wow, he's brilliant. And he meant it like, look how he's manipulating people. I think that's what he was getting at.
Mm-hmm.
And I was quiet, and then I said, I don't think brilliant is the right word. There's nothing brilliant about it. And I was about to just go off, and Ronnie looked up at me, and he goes, yeah, I think we're going to get going. And we left. We did. And he, the guy was intoxicated. They were, they're doing this. Saturday was like a little business thing where people were doing orders out the windows, and people were getting drinks and kind of hanging out on the street, which I didn't really want to participate. We went to one place and got a bite to eat, and then we walked and we ran into some people that he knew, and they were all outside of another bar. And it was like you were seeing these groups of people standing outside. It's going to become like a cafe kind of environment, because people are going to start doing this because they can't go inside the establishment. But if anybody had come around and said anything to them, they said, oh, I'm waiting for my food. But they're really just standing outside drinking. Fine. So I hope this guy doesn't teach history to these kids, because I don't care how liberal you think you are. There's nothing brilliant about the repeated history book that this guy is pulling from. It's a joke. There's nothing brilliant about it. It's maybe the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. The fact that his percentage rating is still what it is. And I don't think that's brilliant. And I implored him to just, if you want to make your point, whatever the point is, I don't think today is the day. There's a funeral going on. There's a protest going on. I don't really think having what he thought was an intelligent conversation about, and then he said something about how we have friends that don't agree with us. I said, I don't have friends. You don't know me.
Oh, about him or about you?
Saying like me and Ronnie have friends who think. I go, no. Maybe Ronnie does. You don't know me. And then it was like that. You don't know me came out of my mouth, and I was like, Ronnie goes, okay, we're gonna go now. Okay, nice seeing you guys. So yeah, that went under asshole. He's a New York City school teacher, I believe. So and I'm just, he is a very nice person, and I don't think that I have to channel my anger in a way. But yeah, that's
I could see why you went that way. Part of it was
encountered this week.
Part of it was a a jerk move on his part?
It's, yeah, I just, I'm not, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know. We were listening back. I said I don't know so much when I think we were talking about what's going on. It was like I don't know. So
It's a killer.
yeah.
Well,
All right.
maybe this week.
Oh, come on. Yours is a little bit lighter than mine.
No, actually, it's not. I'm not even going to go there. I'm just going to say, in case you didn't know this, if you wear a mask, you breathe in your own carbon monoxide and you poison yourself and destroy your immune system. Tell that to the surgeons. I'm filing that one under asshole, and I'm not saying who said it, but I just
Say that again.
I told somebody today, I'm not going to mention names, that I believe in science, and I don't believe that we should be mingling just because the summer's here. Something happened, and we shouldn't pretend it didn't happen. And there are actually 2 towns in Spain, I didn't tell you this, that have spiked enormously. That they're in quarantine full force, like little towns. Long story short, party blew up. Yeah. So I was told that I watched too much TV. That was the first thing. That I don't. Second thing I was told, I said, well, listen, you know what? We won't be commingling with people because until I have to, I believe in science, and I'm not going to be one of these selfish people. So I was told, well, if you believe in science, you should know that wearing a mask, you're breathing in all that carbon monoxide, your own breath after a while. And that's bad for your immune system, and that's bad for you. You know what? I don't know where people get their science knowledge from. I don't know if they're
all day long. You're not supposed to live with it on. You're wearing it in situations.
Well, that's what I said. I said when I go to the.
What kind of? All right.
You're right. In fact, I said when I don't even wear it in the park. I wear it in places where there's people. Okay. And if I don't know where you have been, well, I don't want to be with you. And by you, I mean plural you. Okay. So, once again, I think people change their interpretation of things to suit their own needs. Like, I want to go to the beach and I want to go to my second house and third house. So I'm going to tell everybody that it's this way. And you know what? That's fine. I don't care. But you're not telling me or convincing me. So if people don't want to respect others' opinions, and I'll go this far, you can file me under asshole. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. Okay?
Listen, if we can't criticize others if we can't criticize ourselves.
I know how I come off, but you know what? You don't have any right to badger me. So you badger me, I badger you. You know.
Maybe we were both a little bit of assholes. Maybe
So
we
then,
file ourselves under asshole this week.
Yeah, so then another comment was made by someone else. Well, if that's how you're gonna be, it's gonna be very lonely for all of you. And I go, that's exactly what I'm hoping for.
Shit.
Hey.
With friends like these. Well, this is just 2 girls. What do we know? I will say, I think I told you this maybe one time this week. I did put my resume in to the ACLU and the NAACP just generally, and to get like on their mailing lists. And this is something I had always had. Just like, why don't I do that? Why don't I do that? I was really pursuing, being involved with the arts, and I still can continue to do that. But I'm unemployed right now, and I have every capability to find employment. For the 12 years, it was very good experience. It was very humbling to see what good out of science.
I'm
Those
glad to hear you
people
say that.
are those are the people who I saw for 12 years of my life. I got that job right after 9/11, and I gave up pursuing the art that I wanted to do because I was scared. And I don't want to talk about 9/11 right now, but I was so scared. I was 22 years old,
Yeah.
and that job made me feel like I had a safety net and a home because I needed a job. And I knew that I had picked, going into a nonprofit. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I had finished school and I could get a job, even though it wasn't what I loved and wasn't my passion. And I was never very good at science, but I knew that arts and humanity and science are the things that
Matter and make the world go round. Yeah, it's totally
yeah.
true.
And one other thing was something that I always kind of tried, and this because we had always talked about, I was uncomfortable just being, I ran a fellowship program for most of the years. It was very rewarding, but I wanted to move into this program that they funded that was the public understanding of science and technology. And they funded everything that was arts related that defended science. So the Tribeca Film Festival gave $3 million when it got started. And I was still running this fellowship program that wasn't involved in that, but it was my company and I was proud of it. And just trying to, I don't know, it's going to have to, dust off the resume and really looking for ways that I can contribute positively instead of just with my camera and the magazine. I don't know. It's where I'm at. Wow, that was sorry.
No, that's a good place to end because we're putting the scientists up on a pedestal, and that's a positive thing for the week of a shitty week, and we have to keep looking at those people because they're doing great work, and they're the ones that are keeping us going. So I'm gonna say with that,
Science for prep.
All right. Well, listen, we'll stop here. We'll get together next week, and by then you will have watched The Last Dance, and we'll discuss a little bit of The King of Staten Island.
Yes, those are the two. That's my homework assignment.
Okay.
Big hugs to Violetta and Alex.
Same to Ronnie, and everybody stay safe and love each other, and we're all in this together. Bye.